think we're ready to start our regular meeting tonight. Summer, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Patterson?
Here.
Commissioner Norwood?
Here.
Commissioner Baker?
Here.
Commissioner Roberts? Commissioner Stallings is not present. Commissioner Dennis?
Here.
And Mayor Mason.
Here. All right, tonight our invocation will be by Dan Scheidel, the Director of the United Way of Northwest Oklahoma, and I have asked Commissioner Roberts to do our flag salute. So if everyone would stand and remain standing, please, I would appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for your incredible faithfulness, steady and unchanging, even when our feelings or circumstances shift. Thank you for your unfailing love, guiding truth, and comforting mercy that gives us strength and stability. Thank you for carrying us through the difficult seasons, for being our strength when we are weak, and for your presence in both the big and small things, the breath in our lungs, the food on our tables, and your protection over those we love. And thank you for your redemptive work through Jesus, through whom we are forgiven, restored, and given new life. And help us never to forget your goodness and faithfulness. You alone are worthy of all our praise and honor. And Lord, give us the boldness in prayer and in spirit. Let your will shape our thoughts, actions, and relationships, and may your kingdom come through the way we love, serve, and seek justice. Show us where we can be used by you, Lord, to answer the very prayers that we're praying for others. And make us attentive to the places where your kingdom is breaking through, and give us courage to step into them. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Thank you. Have a seat. Thanks, Dan. Item 3.1, consider approval of minutes of the regular commission meeting of March 17, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Please cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. Item number 4, awards, presentations, proclamations, and organizational business. 4.1, present pet available for adoption at the city's Animal Welfare Department. Who's here tonight?
Tonight I have Rover.
Rover?
Yes.
Okay.
So Rover's a funny looking guy. Our guess is Rottweiler, Dutch Hound, maybe some Hound and some Heeler. As you can see, he's pretty laid back, pretty calm. He has been with us since February. He is our longest resident at the shelter. He's estimated to be about 4 to 5 years old. He is neutered. We figured out just a moment ago that he absolutely loves kids. Crawled right up to the 4 that were out there and just rolled belly up, wanted all the love. He's not very well off with other dogs. He did come in with another dog. It was calm. I think they grew up together, but he doesn't seem to enjoy the rambunctious dogs or other dogs taking his attention. But he is a loving guy, absolutely loves people, loves being loved on, and he would make a great home for anybody who's single with kids growing up. And he's just looking for somebody to love. He's located in pen, what pen are you in? Pen 3 and 4 at the Animal Welfare. You ready? Or you just gonna stay here?
Pretty relaxed. Yeah, it could be our new Enid City Commission dog, you know. Very chilled.
Oh, we gotta go? Wow.
Let's go.
That's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
That's very sweet.
Dog.
Picked you.
I see a new family member coming up.
He chose you. That's sweet. All the pets. That's very sweet. My goodness. Sweet.
So tonight we have quite a few proclamations to go through. And I want you to think about that, how great our community is, that we have a stack of proclamations of good groups and good people that do good service for our community. So, and I think that's probably why most of you are here. I'm pretty sure you're not here if we're buying trucks or bulldozers, right? So, no, okay. So I'm gonna start off with the first one. I think this is Kendall Barker. Yeah, there you are. Kendall is with the tree board. Yeah, so, which does fine work around our community, and hopefully with the new ballpark and amphitheater, y'all are gonna have a lot more trees going up, right?
That'd be exciting, yes.
Okay, let me read this, and then if you want to say anything, I'll turn the mic over to you. It says, whereas trees increase property value, enhance the economy virtually of business areas, and beautifies our community, and whereas trees reduce the erosion of topsoil, provide shade, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, provide habitat for wildlife, and are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas on January the 4th, 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed a tree planting holiday to be called Arbor Day. And whereas Arbor Day celebrates the role of trees in our lives and promotes tree planting and care. Now, therefore, I, David M. Mason, Mayor of the City of Enid, do hereby proclaim April 24th, my birthday, by the way, 2026, as Arbor Day.
Wonderful.
You're welcome. Let me give you this, and then I'll turn the mic over and just kind of tell them what you do.
Yes, so I am a member of the City of Enid's Tree Board, and I want to thank you for the proclamation. And on your birthday, the birthday party this year is down at Don Haskins for our Arbor Day celebration. We partnered with the Parks Department, City of Enid, received a grant, and we've planted over 20 trees in the last month, I think, at Don Haskins. And so planting a new one and celebrating with some kids from Garfield Elementary are going to come, and it's going to be a great time. 11:30, you're all invited. 11:30 on April 24th for Arbor Day. And yeah, so we're excited to continue with trees in Enid. And one more thing, I know it was in the paper and you guys probably talked about it before, but we were recognized, City of Enid was also recognized as Tree City USA for another year. So thank you so much.
Very nice. Thank you. I'll be 32 again. So, Nicole Painter and both families, if you guys will come on up. Nicole, why don't you come up and introduce the families? This is Nicole Painter. She,
Yeah.
what is your title at base? What do you?
So I'm on the school liaison on base.
School.
Yes. So I help our military families connect with schools and help them make a decision on what's the best choice for their family. And then I help mitigate any enrollment challenges or transfer credits, things like that. So tonight we have the Weinman family. We have Master Sergeant Weinman. He's very well known on base. He's a great asset of ours. He's one of our first shirts, and he is actually deployed right now. So I thought it was fitting that we bring on Ace and Delilah to recognize their sacrifice and resilience whenever their dad is not with them, but he is fighting for our country. So that's the Weinman family. And then we have Lieutenant Llewellyn and his family. Lieutenant Llewellyn is a student pilot at Vance. And we have Amelia and Maddox. Okay, so April is Month of the Military Child, and we recognize the sacrifices that the children also go through when they were born into this family, and they didn't really ask for all of this, but they still are very brave and courageous being part of a military family. And we wear purple because purple is a combination of all the colors of all the branches of the military. And so that's why you see a lot of purple in the month. The city of Enid has ordered a brand new banner out front, if you notice, and it's April, month of the military child banner. It's purple. They do the lights downtown. They change those purple for us, and so we just try to celebrate with that color. And so, yeah, but thank you for the proclamation.
Very good. You know, the last 3 years, and I can't speak prior to that, but we have had the opportunity to take they have a big parade out on base.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, more candy than I've ever seen in my life. But all the kids go out in their front yards, and then the fire truck, the security forces, and then how many cars this year?
Probably
20 or 30?
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah, a lot of cars.
They had them all decorated up with purple and balloons and things like that. So they go up and down every single residential street out on base and throw candy out to those kids. I've asked our chief courier, our fire chief, to loan us a truck each year to represent Enid, and he's been very considerate with that. And I just can't tell you how those kids, especially when they blow the siren, they have the lights on, it is exciting to them. And then throw tons of candy out there to them. And I appreciate that, Chief Courier. And I also appreciate your guys that you send out. Man, they engaged with the kids. They engaged with everybody on our truck. And it just, as mayor, it makes you feel very, very proud, and I appreciate that. So thank you for.
That parade is actually one of the great things that came out of COVID, because before the kids would parade around the block and everyone would come out of their work place to cheer them on. During COVID, we weren't allowed to parade together, so we had to get in our own vehicles. So we became the parade, and then the kids came out of their homes. So that's.
Well, it's one of those events that I get to attend that I get more out of it, I'm sure, than I put into it. And those are great. Those are just great. So I've got this proclamation I'd like to read, and then I have something for the kids. It says, whereas the Military Child Education Coalition is a nonprofit organization focused exclusively on the well-being and needs of America's military-connected children, and whereas in 1986, Defense Secretary Caspar Weinberger designated April as the month of the military child, a tradition that has continued, and whereas to ensure inclusive, quality educational opportunities for all military-connected children affected by mobility, transition, deployment, and family separation, and whereas Military-Connected Children's Academy social and emotional needs are recognized, supported, and appreciate responses are provided, and whereas a strong community of partners is committed to support an environment where military-connected children thrive, and whereas Vance Air Force Base and local schools celebrate the month of the military child with Purple Up activities, and now, therefore, I, David M. Mason, do hereby proclaim the month of April as month of the military child. It's very good. Give y'all that, and then kids, I actually have these coins. These are commemorative coins. It's got our logo on this side, and then on this side, it has our cityscape downtown. If you look at our cityscape, I always say that we're a city on the move, and out of 134, 135 years, that 48, I'm the 48th mayor of Enid. So that's what that is. Don't try to spend it, it won't get you. Would you like one of these? There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can we grab a photo of it?
I would love to, absolutely. You guys come in a little tighter. I'm gonna move this out of the way. Thank you all so much for this.
Still charging the kids bad tax rules, I can't. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Very good. Thank you. If you get a coin, you've got to stay for the whole meeting.
Civitan Awareness Month. Civitan Awareness Month.
Okay, who's
The Civitan group.
the Civitans? Civitans? Ladies, come on up.
Okay, I thought you were that too.
All right, yeah, come right over here on this side. So who wants to step up to the mic and tell us about what all that y'all do?
I'm the president for a year. I just became in October. We changed officers. So I'm
Okay.
the president this year. I'm Barbara Eastland.
Come up here at the mic so they can hear you out in TV land.
Hello, everybody. We're welcome to have all of you to come and see us tonight. We do a lot of different things through the years. We have done several projects. And matter of fact, we just did a nice program last night with Elaine John is our favorite person in our group. And so anyway, we went out to the airport and the soldiers, and she can do it because she has permission, because she works with the soldiers and all the projects around. We went and burned flags out at the airport last night. So that was one of our, we've never done that before because that was one of our big projects that we did. And we've done other projects. And so anyway, we've been together over 20 years in our group, so we've been around for quite a few years. And through the years, we've had a lot of fun with each other, and our group may not be as many here tonight. We have more in our group, but you know, we all can't come together sometime, but we all appreciate what everybody does, and we want you to know about our group in Enid, Oklahoma. So we want to thank you for letting us come tonight. Thank you very much. Wait just a minute. Mayor.
Retired the flag. How we retired the flags, how we
Oh,
did that.
we retired the flags, we burn them, and in a pit. The Boy Scouts built a pit for Elaine out there, and we went out and had a good time last night at the airport. We did, didn't we? And then we read the names, and we read the names to all the people that was in the service and have been gone from the service that we lost, you know, in the service. So we want to thank you very much. Elaine?
Civitan is a group of an international organization based out of Birmingham, Alabama, that has a focus on physically and mentally disabled adults and children. And our International Research Center is looking at cures for brain cancers, Alzheimer's, and different mental diseases and some physical diseases. And so that's what our research center concentrates on. So, Mayor, I'll give it to you.
Okay. Well, let me read this proclamation. I'm going to get right back up here by the microphone, okay? And just to be clear, those were old flags we were burning, right? Yes. Okay. I know. I know. All right. Well, let me read this proclamation. It says, whereas founded in 1917 by a group of businessmen in Birmingham, Alabama, Civitan has become one of the world's leading volunteer service organizations involving more than 1,800 service clubs, comprised of 40,000 men, women, and young people in 30 nations. And whereas the mission of Civitan International is to build good citizenship by providing a network of local community service clubs dedicated to serving individuals and community needs, with an emphasis on helping people with developmental disabilities. And whereas, in addition to supporting the local community, Civitan clubs have made a tremendous impact throughout the world by supporting the organization's flag project, the Civitan International Research Center, and facility focused on research into disorders such as autism, Down syndrome, brain tumors, epilepsy, and more. And whereas Junior Civitan and Campus Civitan are Civitan International's youth collage program, respectively. These clubs take an innovative service project and receive valuable leadership training and owe them an incredible debt that can never be fully repaid. And whereas the Region 7 District of Civitan International, which includes the state of Oklahoma, was formed more than 105 years ago and is currently composed of 34 civic Civitan clubs, 4 junior Civitan clubs, and 2 campus Civitan clubs, including the Yes We Can Civitan Club in Enid. And whereas Civitan's purpose is to serve the community by fulfilling human needs, not me, by other organizations or individual efforts. And whereas Civitan members continually seek experiences that provide life direction, character building, leadership development, and satisfaction in helping those in need. Now, therefore, I, David M. Mason, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Enid, do hereby proclaim April the 26th is Civitan Awareness Month. Okay, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, my pleasure. Oh,
Barbara, I'll get a picture. Can I get a picture, please, sir?
Yeah. Move the microphone.
Yeah, Tiff, smile.
Lane, do you want to be in the picture?
No, sir. All right. Hold on there. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Filming that?
I did. I'll be on social media in just a little while.
Thank you. Okay. And do we have a realtor here for the fair housing?
A whole bunch of them.
Okay.
We got a herd.
No, 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 no. Hey, how are you? So good to see you. How are you? Hey, darling. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Does anybody want to talk first before I read the proclamation? Okay, about the fair housing?
Yes. Hi, I am Tara Dalton. I am the 2026 president of the Northwest Oklahoma Association of Realtors. And April is the Fair Housing Awareness Month. It commemorates the 1968 Fair Housing Act, which abolishes discrimination. So we are working on abolishing discrimination in sex, race, religion, color, orientation, familial status, and origin of country. And so we are just here to make sure that we are promoting fair housing and we are eliminating it when it comes to buying, selling, renting, and lending. So April is Fair Housing Awareness Month.
Cool, very nice, very good. All right, I want to read this one. It says, whereas April 2026 marks the 58th anniversary of the passage of the U.S. Fair Housing Law, which indicates a national policy of fair housing without regard to race, color, creed, national origin, sex, status, and handicap, and encourages fair housing opportunities for all citizens. And whereas the Realtor Association and the City of Enid continue to address discrimination in our community support programs, will inform the public about the right to equal housing opportunity, and will plan partnership efforts with other organizations to ensure every American's right to fair housing. Now, therefore, I, David M. Mason, Mayor of the City of Enid, Oklahoma, do hereby proclaim April 2026 as Fair Housing Awareness Month. Thank you all very much. Who's going to sing bass?
Ready?
Dead sing
Okay.
bass.
1, 2, 3. Stay. Wait for a second. 1, 2, 3.
Wait a minute, I'm pushing my glasses up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Slide down the nose.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
All right.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank y'all. Bye-bye. Okay. Oh, Commissioner Dennis. You knew, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. So, Courtney, I know that you're also the director of the YWCA.
Yes, sir.
And this has to do with sexual domestic violence, right?
It's Sexual Assault Awareness Month this month in April.
Would you like to talk just a little bit about that before I read
Absolutely.
this?
So first, thank you, Mayor, my fellow commissioners, for recognizing Sexual Assault Awareness Month. This proclamation you're going to hear is a great reminder of how survivors deserve support and access to care. As the mayor mentioned, I'm the executive director of the YWCA, and we are your local resource for victims experiencing sexual assault, domestic violence, or stalking. So we are the only agency in this region that provides to adults sexual assault forensic exams and advocacy services to those adults that are suffering. All of our services are free, confidential, and available to anyone. If anybody needs our services, please call or text us on our crisis hotline 24/7. It's 580-234-7644. And I also want to point out a couple members of my team, and then our partner district attorney Tommy Humphreys, United Way director Dan Scheidel, and former board member Melissa Blanton. So thank you guys so much for all your support and for doing this today.
Absolutely. Whereas April marks Sexual Assault Awareness Month, a time to honor 25 years of progress and recommit to creating safer communities for all. This year's theme, 25 Years Stronger, Looking Back, Moving Forward, celebrates the resilience of survivors and the communities that have worked for change. And whereas for 25 years, SAM has supported survivors, raised awareness, and inspired action to prevent sexual assault, abuse, and harassment. As we reflect on how far we've come, we also recognize the work that lies ahead. And whereas YWCA Enid serves as the local resource for survivors of sexual assault, providing crisis response, forensic examinations, advocacy, counseling, and support services to help survivors heal and rebuild their lives. And whereas prevention starts with all of us. It is in how we support one another, practice consent, and create spaces rooted in care and respect. When we act with the intention, we move closer to a future free from violence. And whereas we honor the survivors who have shared their stories and advocates who have led the way. Their courage reminds us that prevention and healing are possible, and that each of us has a role to play. And whereas, as we look to the next 25 years, we renew our commitment to building a future free from sexual violence. Together, we continue to strengthen prevention, support healing, and create communities where everyone feels safe and valued. Now, therefore, I, David M. Mason, by virtue of the authority vested in me as the mayor of the city of Enid, do hereby proclaim April 2026 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to invite my team and any community partners that I just mentioned that want to be in the picture. Please come up.
Good to see you. National Crime?
National Crime Victims
Okay. Tony, why don't you come up and tell us about this one?
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all, I really appreciate being here. My name is Tommy Humphreys. I'm your district attorney for Garfield County. I'm also the district attorney for four other counties, so Garfield, Canadian, Kingfisher, Blaine, and Grant counties. I've been serving for the last 3 years and got the good news last week that I'll be your district attorney for 4 more. So really excited for that. We've made great progress and we want to continue to keep moving forward. National Crime Victims Week is a good time. I want it to be National Crime Victims Week every day in my office, but it's good to take the week to recognize the struggles that crime victims face. Remember the profound impact that crime has on our communities. Even when it doesn't impact us directly, it impacts our friends, our neighbors. And so it's a good time to recognize that, but it's also a great time to recognize the partnerships we have, community partners, law enforcement partners, prosecution partners. When we work together, we know that outcomes for victims are better. And so each one of those areas, we can't provide everything that a victim needs, but when we work together, do our jobs well, we can make sure that crime victims have a pathway to healing. So
Absolutely.
Thank you all. I appreciate the partnership with the City of Enid. So.
Very good. Okay, it says, whereas the victims' rights movements has resulted in passage of laws at the local, state, and federal level that establishes essential rights for victims, and whereas Crime Victims' Rights Act in Oklahoma and at the federal level provide victims with meaningful ways to participate in the criminal justice process, and whereas the rights of crime victims are best protected when all participants in the criminal justice process are made aware of victims' rights, and whereas supporting victims of crime is crucial to the United States justice system because it honors the experiences of victims and allows them to find autonomy and empowerment through achieving self-defined goals. And whereas we must help and encourage victims to seek support and assistance and participate in the justice system as they rebuild their lives, and whereas advocacy by and for victims of crime is an important part of seeking justice, and whereas the accomplishments to date of the victims' rights movement achieved through the compassion and collaboration and built on the courageous advocacy of individual victims and their families across the community, inspire this community to continue work for greater healing. And whereas we are determined to respond to crime and violence by helping victims find not only support, recovery, and justice, but also a sense of hope for the future. And whereas the City of Enid is dedicated to strengthening victims and survivors in the aftermath of crime, building resilience in our community, recognizing the importance of the work done by victim service providers. Now therefore be it resolved, I, David M. Mason, do hereby proclaim the week of April the 19th through April the 25th of 2026 as Crime Victims' Rights Week. So very good, and thank y'all for what you did.
Can I say 2 things really quick?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I never tell a district attorney.
No, that's fine. This day and age, because this is about awareness, we're going to try something different this year. We've got one more meeting tomorrow, but I want to let everyone know we're going to try to get the word out through social media this year. A lot of years, thanks to Melissa Blanton, we've done a great vigil. And that brings people into us, and it brings some awareness. But we're going to go out. We're going to use social media to get the word out to support crime victims. But we're also, one thing that she knows that I've been working on is I really wanted to create kind of a resource fair for victims. So when we bring them in, I want to let them know the great services that are out there for them in the City of Enid. And so I think the first Friday in August is when we're scheduled to have a resource fair for all of our partners that assist crime victims. So doing something a little bit different this year. Stay tuned, though. We'll let everyone know the details very soon. So
Very
thank
good.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. You want a picture?
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all very much for your time. Appreciate it. Cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to back up to 4.2. I was so anxious to do all those proclamations that I skipped over 4.2. So I'm going to recognize the City of Enid Employee of the Month for April.
I had to make sure I had my speaking role. It's one of the, hopefully the few ones that I'll have tonight, but it's for a great purpose. We get to recognize a City Employee of the Month every month. And we have about 500 employees in the City of Enid, wonderful employees that make everything work. Everything you see happens because of employees, whether it's police, fire, the code department, finance, engineering, or in this case, even our city clerk. Summer, would you come on down? Yes. Now, normally Summer knows everything going on the agenda, and so I know she probably would have known this too, but we just didn't put the name on the agenda. And typically, we don't give this award to supervisors, even though we have many, many, many supervisors worthy. But this time, for many reasons, including you were nominated, it just felt right to do it this time. For Summer, she's been here. You're coming up on 15 years, aren't you? 15 years, and she's done multiple things. She's worked herself up, I guess if you want to say it that way. You started as an account clerk, I think.
Yep, same office, city clerk's office.
And then you just kept moving right on up. Assistant city clerk, so I'm sure that maybe city manager or assistant city manager will be next. And
I don't know about that.
but she does a wonderful job, and so I'm going to let Erin Crawford, her direct supervisor, talk about all the things that the city clerk is responsible for and why you can be glad that she and her department are doing this and you don't have to.
Yes. In fact, she does so many things that I decided I needed to have notes because I can't remember all the things that go in and out of her office. So I would say the city clerk's office can truly be described as the hub of local government. It is an information office where citizens bring complaints, requests, and questions about the city and the community, not only outside people, but inside departments too. She is the custodian of all the city records. Every ordinance, resolution, contract that goes through the city, it's stored in her office. She collects and records all the deposits of the city, utility payments, whether it comes in money from the golf course, landfill, library permits, it goes through her office. Every single cent goes through her office. She does all of the advertising, publications, sealed bids, packets, hearing publications to make sure we're in compliance for the city. She posts all legal notices for agendas and make sure we follow the Open Meetings Act. She's responsible for 30+ boards to make sure we have not only agendas and minutes, but that we get board applications and get appointments on. As you'll see tonight, we have more boards on for appointments. They do all the certification for mowing and cleaning and dilapidated. She issues business licenses to make sure people are compliant throughout the city and garage sale permits. She handles all the insurance, titles, and taxes and tags for the city. She's a secretary of multiple boards, not just the board you see before you tonight, but other boards throughout the city. I can say personally, Summer is one of my right-hand people. She quietly keeps the entire operation organized and compliance and moving forward. Her professionalism and steadiness make an indispensable part of the city of Enid, and we are truly better because of her deep commitment to doing things the right way every time.
Very surprised. Oh my goodness. This is so nice. Thank you guys. I couldn't do it without the team that I have. The city clerk's office, we're a small office, but there's just 5 of us. But I just have a really great team. I've got 3 account clerks and my assistant, Madeline, over there. And everybody just works great together as a team. I couldn't do it without them. So thank you guys. And yes, I'm very surprised. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Thank you.
You know, aside from all those things that Erin read off, she also, look on my script, all the notes she puts on here for me. I mean, that's, and then the last thing she does for me is whenever I lose my place, which I do quite often, she'll lean over and go, "You're not, go down, go down." So anyway, she keeps me on track, and thank you very much. I appreciate it. Speaking of which, get back on track. Item 4.9, consider appointments to the library board. So tonight we have 2 vacancies and 3 applicants. They have applied for this. I'm going to do just like I have before in the past. I'm going to just go down the list that I have, ask you to come up to the mic, tell your name, and kind of why you want to be on this board. And we don't really set a timer on it, but we'd like you to be kind of considerate of that. And then at the end, we'll vote on that. Okay? So first person on my list is Marcia Scott. Ms. Scott?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you all for allowing me to have served 1 term on the library board, and I'm asking you if you would please allow me to serve another term. When I first came on the library board, we had lots of excitement. It has calmed down significantly, and we all appreciate that very much. So much goes on at the library. I had no idea until I got on the library board that there's so much more than checking out books that goes on at the library. One thing that has happened recently is an upstairs room has been changed into a STEAM or STEM room where they have 3D printers, embroidery machines, things that individuals, children, and adults can make arrangements to come in and use that equipment. Really quickly, to use a 3D printer, you have film that goes through a spool and then it builds incredible things. The spools can be made on the 3D printer. I just think that is really cool. The other thing I want to tell is just a quick story to show that small children as well as older people get great joy out of being at the library. There is a large globe in the library, and the place where the city of Enid and even Oklahoma had gotten really worn off because children were pointing at where they are on the globe. It was kind of cool, but it was worn off. And there was a gentleman who comes regularly to the library who felt badly that Enid and part of Oklahoma no longer existed on the globe. So he single-handedly solicited funds and he replaced the entire globe, which is quite attractive at the library. And it has Enid in the state of Oklahoma back on the globe. Come to the library. If you have not been there, come and see all the marvelous things that go on there. Thank you. Thank you all for what you do.
Thank you. Next up is Linda Moore. Ms. Moore?
Hello, I'm Linda Moore, and I have enjoyed the last 3 years on the library board. As Marcia said, it was a little bit rowdy, and it has not been rowdy any longer. It's just been really, really nice. I could just say ditto to everything she said because it's worth going to. And if you all do have a library card, you can get on Hoopla, you can get on Libby, and just download books. And if you're in your car like I am all the time, you can listen to these things, and it's great. If you have not got a library card, go get one. And if you don't have the knowledge that I needed, they have a person there that could show you how to download those things to use. I feel like I am qualified to be on the library board. I have a library science degree. I taught English and English literature, American literature. I taught elementary kids how to read and high school kids. So I just ask for your vote. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. And Greg Smith. Greg Smith. No? Okay, Commissioners, I'll remind you, we have 2 vacancies and 3 applicants. Please mark your 2 participants that you want to vote for, and make sure that you circle your name down at the bottom. Okay. While she's counting those, I'll move on to the next item 4.10. Consider an appointment to the Enid Joint Recreation Triad Board of Directors. We have 1 vacancy and 3 applicants. And same thing, I'll just go down the list. In all transparency, the first name I'm going to call happens to be my son. And I will say he's been on there this past term, but we did check, and because this is a triad, it is not a city board, there is no nepotism. However, I choose not to vote tonight, so there will be no question about that. So with that being said, Grant, I'll call you up first to the mic.
Thanks, Commissioners, for letting me come up here and speak. I've been on the EJRT board since 2020. I've served as secretary. I currently serve as the board president and have for the last several years. During my time, we've had to go in, rewrite all the bylaws. They hadn't been updated since 1987, so we redid some of that. We've got over 1,500 participants between 3 sports, softball, baseball, and football. We're also adding cheerleading this year for football so we can, provide more services to the youth. Couple other things we're working on. We recently entered into an agreement with the Enid Sports Association and Mike Steinke out at the soccer complex. We are working with them to kind of leverage our numbers and increase sponsorship opportunities just more outside of Enid, and it made a lot more sense whenever you combine the 2 groups together. So we're also playing football out there now for some of our younger groups, utilizing that facility. The other thing we've been doing is we have improved our relationship with Enid Public Schools, which is the third portion or the third part of the triad. We're using Selby Stadium to play football on as well. That's been tremendous. They've been very accommodating. We've added Coach Jensen, Coach Elrick to the board, who are the softball coach for Enid High and the new football coach. Coach Elrick is he's starting camps, youth camps, and coaching camps. He's really working hard to build from the ground up, and I don't think that's been happening in Enid, and he's working hard at that. A few other things. This past year, Coach Jensen and Kevin Bezdacek, who are both on our board, they, in conjunction with EJRT, have added a softball showcase for girls in Garfield County surrounding areas. We've invited collegiate coaches in, and we had 50 participants last year, and I think there were 7 or 8 scholarships issued to local softball players off of that. Something else that we're developing is a scholarship program for past EJRT participants. We're planning on doing one for softball participants, one for football, and one for baseball, and that will be to go towards college or trade school, help cover some of those costs. So that is currently being developed. In addition to my role on the board, I also have 2 boys that I coach both of their baseball teams. Most recently, I have a daughter now, so I'm sure softball is going to be heavily in my future. In addition to those things, I've also had to fill in as softball director while we were looking for another director, and then I've also had to step in, coach multiple teams that didn't have coaches. So this is a board that requires more than a monthly meeting. There's a great deal of volunteer work that goes into it. We have a great board right now, and there's a lot of good things happening in Enid, with youth sports, and I would love to continue to do that. So with that, thank you guys.
Okay. Thank you. Mark Burrow?
I don't think he is here.
Well, after that was, I know him, he's done a great job, so yeah, I'm kind of there. I'm Mark Burrow, and I own Unique Design Downtown, and I've coached for several years. I was the commissioner of it back for about 7 years in the football. I did it for a long time there. I've been coaching at the high school and coached football and wrestling and stuff at the high school for about 15 years. I did that so that's the reason I haven't got on any boards or anything for the time being on that. And so now I decided, I'd see if I could help out a little bit and see what I could bring to the table and something new, or, help out on different things. Like I said, he did a great job on there, and I hope to, if I do get this, and I hope to help out as much as I can. Appreciate it, guys.
Okay, thank you. And the third applicant was John Smithson. I did not see John in the audience. Okay. On this one, I'll remind you, we have one vacancy and 3 applicants. So if you will make your selection, make sure you circle your name, fold those, and like I said, I will not vote. All right, I'm going to back up to the library board, and for Ms. Scott, we had all 6 votes, Patterson, Norwood, Baker, Roberts, Dennis, and Mason. And Ms. Moore, we had 6 votes, Patterson, Norwood, Baker, Roberts, Dennis, and Mason. So welcome back to the library board. We appreciate what you've done and what you'll be doing in the future. And you're right, that board has changed dynamics a lot, and for the best. Is that a political?
Good way to call it.
Good political way to say it? Okay. So thank you. Thank you. All right. I'm going to move down now to 4.11. Consider appointments to the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Holiday Commission Board. We have no ballot on this. We're just going to vote to approve the 2 applicants. We had, I guess, 2 vacancies on that and 2 applicants. So those 2 applicants were Jade Powell and Brandy Stewart. So unless you have any questions, I'm going to look for a motion to approve these 2 people to be on this board.
I just have a comment. These applicants were so highly qualified, and I did notice that both of them are coming from the CDSA program, and I'm seeing a lot of applicants from that program, and that just tells you how much they are entrenched in our community.
I agree.
And with that, I would like to make a motion that we accept these 2.
And I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Please cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. So Jade Powell and Brandy Stewart will be on the Dr. Martin Luther King Holiday Board. On the Enid Joint Recreational Triad Board, Grant Mason received 4 votes. Patterson, Norwood, Roberts, and Dennis, and Mark Burrow received 1 vote. So with that being said, I'll say, oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Baker. I'm sorry, I didn't read that. If you did not get on a board this time, please don't give up. I cannot emphasize enough, and I say this every time I feel like a broken record, but it's true. we have a lot of boards, a lot of positions, and we need good people. And sometimes the way it opens up, it just doesn't work out this time. We had one a couple weeks ago that had tried multiple times and ended up on 2 boards.
More than 2.
Yeah, so.
I saw him at tree board today. He was smiling.
Yeah.
Even after the meeting.
So don't give up. There's a lot of work to make out there that needs to be done to make our community continually be better and better and better. So, all right, item number, I'm gonna wait until I get this last. Don't I have another? No, I don't have any more votes, do I? See, thank you. You see why she got the plaque? Okay, item 4.12, discussion of any item remaining from the study session agenda of April 7, 2026. So we did, it worked out that we're not able to get through everything, so I'm going to back up. I'm going to go to Captain Fuchsa on 3.5, discuss the process of promoting a new police chief. I think that's probably a function that most of us do not understand how that all happens. It's not voted on by this commission.
That's right.
Okay.
Mayor and
So with
Commissioners.
that being said, welcome, and I'll turn that over to you.
Thank you very much, Mayor and Commissioners. Yes, under the charter, our employment and our promotions are all conducted under the Police Civil Service Commission. Just a little bit of history. This month, in April 28th, 1937, Enid's first Police Civil Service Commission had their first meeting. That same month, the governor of Oklahoma at that time, is Mr. E.W. Marland, promoted or set an amendment to where municipalities could adopt civil service groups. And Enid was one of the first cities to take advantage of that. This same amendment established the Oklahoma Department of Public Safety, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, and it allowed municipalities, the police departments, to move away from political appointments to a merit-based system. So it took politics out of it. And the effect was very interesting. Before the amendment took effect, there were 30 police chiefs in Oklahoma's history from the onset of the city to that point. And from that point on, there have been only 12. So there was an effect. And the scariest thing, I've been in through 6 of those 12.
Oh, my.
And prior to that, I was in 2 in Oklahoma City, so, yeah.
Lord.
So, yes, it gives us impartial oversight, and it also gives us stability to the police department. So, yes, as we all well know, our chief, our current chief, has made the decision to retire, and he constantly reminds us of that. I got a text from him just a minute ago. It said, "Hey, Gary." I said, "What?" He said, 50 days. I said, "Yeah." Okay, thanks, Chief. Yeah, so, so he makes notification to the City Council, to the Police Civil Service Commission, and I, being the secretary, I schedule a meeting, and we decide on what type of test that we're going to use. And typically that is going to be a written examination by charter and a presentation and an interview. Okay? The exam is to be impartial, and it is also to be relevant to the position of police administrator. There are a ton of agencies out there, organizations that develop executive police tests. And the commission looks at those different tests, and then they select one. Now, they also have the option of contracting with a company to build us a test, but that's very, very expensive. I tried that, and our tests are a minimum of 100 questions. And they charge us $100, $200, $300 per question per test, so it adds up. So if the stock tests we get and they are updated, those work out great for us, and we're able to afford them. The commission also decides on some type of presentation. So usually that is in the form of a PowerPoint, and it covers a number of topics that the commission decides to use. So this can be the applicant's perception of the police department, the status quo, what direction he wants the police department to go, what ways can he improve the police performance, leadership, community relations. Why does he want to be chief? Why should the commission select him as chief? So those are part of the items that the commission can add to the presentation that they have to do. They also do an interview, and this is kind of the same thing. The topics are, they can ask about the presentations, they can ask them about their management style, they can ask them about their goals and objectives, and these are just some of the things that they can add to the interview portion of the test. They also look at the performance from the police department as far as their performance throughout the police department. They also select a grading system, so how much does each segment weigh in terms of test. So the written exam, for example, can be 40% of the total exam. The presentation and the interview portion can be 60%, 100%, 0 to 100 scale. They also will select a date, and due to our charter and through the contract, there has to be a minimum of at least 60 days from the announcement of the test to the actual date of the test. And that is to allow the candidates to study all the study materials and to work on their presentations. Okay? They also do a written process of the administration of the examination. So this kind of falls on the secretary. So he does writes out the process on how the test is going to go, how it's going to be administered. That includes the date, time, location, exam procedure, the timeline, the exam company, the study reference list. So they give them a list of things that they have to study. They also have the presentation information that they have, so they can build their presentations, and the scoring information, so they know how everything is going to be scored out. On the day of the exam, the commission will meet. They'll call the meeting to order. They'll direct the secretary to administer and proctor the exam, and then the board will recess, and then they will reconvene when the presentation and the interviews takes place. Usually that's going to be about a week after. After the written exam is completed, the secretary will then send the exams back to the company that they chose and that's scored there. They're returned to us, and then that's when we finish with the rest of the exam, which is going to be the interview and the presentations. On conclusion of those, the commission will then grade the presentations and the interviews, and then the written scores will be tabulated into that based on the scoring mechanisms that they choose to use, and then that gives us a composite score. 0 to 100 scale. It has to have a minimum of at least 70% to get on the eligibility list. And the applicant that comes in with the highest score is offered the job of chief of police. Questions?
I like that.
So, go ahead. Okay. I was going to ask if the date had been set yet.
Yes.
Okay. What is the date?
It's going to be, I'd have to look at my schedule. I've got tests for captains, I got tests for lieutenants, I got tests for sergeants, I got tests for patrolmen, all in that same time frame. So yeah, it's going to be at the end of May.
Well, having known a number of people who've been on the Police Civil Service Commission in the past, I know how seriously they take this, but I think it's good on the commission currently to at least have one person, perhaps more, with actual police experience. I think O'Rourke's still on, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there anybody else with police experience on the commission right now?
I'm the secretary.
Okay. You look trustworthy to me.
I try.
The percentage that you're going to allocate or you're going to weight each portion of that process, that's determined by the board before
Yes.
anything
That's
starts, right?
all done before the board, and typically it's been 40% and 60%.
Okay. Okay. Questions? Been very helpful to me. I didn't know how that process happened. So, very good.
Yeah.
Do we, and I guess I can ask this, how many applicants we have that have signed up
So
for the
far,
chief?
I've gotten 2.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
But they
Is there
have
a closing?
up until, I usually cut it off because I have to order the number of tests, so I'm not going to pay for more than I have to. So, yeah, I give them a cutoff date, and that's how many I order.
And do they have to be, and you might have said this and I missed it, but do they have to be a certain rank before they can apply?
They
to
can,
be
yeah,
chief?
under the charter, they can be a sergeant, and they have to have, I believe it's at least 4 years at that level to test for a chief level.
Okay.
And then along with whoever is chosen, doesn't that kind of, it's almost like dominoes, doesn't that trigger a whole series of
Right.
tests on the back end
Oh,
of
yeah,
that?
that's why I've got them all scheduled in.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah. It's a long process.
Does it have to be somebody within our own department, or do you
Yes.
sometimes get somebody
Yes.
from outside?
No, we don't.
All right, well, we're excited about that.
No, so are we. It's going to be a big change.
It is.
So.
Chief Skaggs has been a very,
He's
very
been a
good
very good
chief.
chief.
And
Yes,
we
he has.
hate to miss him, but everybody deserves to retire after a
Oh,
certain
yeah,
point.
exactly.
So, yeah, very good. Well, thank you, Captain. I appreciate it very much if there's no other questions. So, all right, thank you. All right, item 3.6, discuss amending Title V, Chapter 7, Section 24 of the Enid Municipal Code 2024 to rename the section to abandonment of animals, adding a definition and updating the penalty for abandoning an animal. Mandy reminded me a while ago that for
You
2
bumped
weeks in
me.
2 meetings in a row, I've bumped
Yeah.
her. Yeah, so, okay. But
All
you're
right.
up now.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Happy to be here with you tonight. As you're aware, we've had some discussion recently in our community about whether our animal welfare ordinances were up to date, needed to be modernized or looked at. So particularly with reference to our abandoned animal, which is currently named dumping of animals. So the legal team decided it was time to take a look at this particular code section, look at state law, see what was allowed, what was authorized, and see where we could make some improvements and changes to our code as it is. So the ordinance that's in your packet and that's before you today, we're adding a definition of what abandonment constitutes. We didn't have a definition of what abandonment was. As part of that definition, we're also setting out, and to clarify and to be clear, it does not limit what abandonment is to these 5 categories. These are just very common scenarios that pop up in an abandonment type scenario. So we're defining abandonment. We're spelling out that abandonment can be failure to provide care, failure to reclaim an impounded animal from animal welfare, vacating the premises and leaving your animal behind, placing your animal at an uninhabited property, or just intentionally releasing them into the wild. So it adds these scenarios, but again, it's not limited to these. It'll just help our animal welfare and our PD officers know, hey, these are clear conditions of what constitutes abandonment of an animal. One of the other changes that we're making is we are also adding in that attempting any of these will be considered abandonment for the purposes of enforcing our code. We're additionally adding a presumption that if an animal is without adequate care, food, water, shelter, or supervision for a period of more than 24 hours, that's going to be a presumption that that animal has been abandoned unless there's been, the owner has taken steps to provide for their care and other supervision. So that'll be a presumption. That's new. That's a change. And then the other big change that we are adding is we looked at state law, and our fine was not in line with what state law allows for a fine to be for abandoning an animal. So that fine will be bumped up to $500. That's the maximum allowed by the state plus cost. So the maximum fine would be $560 for abandoning an animal. The ordinance that's presented to you does preserve the exemption for groups or people who are trapping feral animals, taking them, getting them vaccinated, and spayed or neutered, and then re-releasing them. That exemption is preserved. We're not going to be considering that abandonment for the purposes of our code.
Okay.
Are there any questions?
Yes.
Sure.
The one that said, the number one that said also includes failure to provide food, water, shelter, or medical care. Does that include an animal that is living on the owner's property, but they're just not being taken care of?
I think it could include it. Again, this is just kind of to provide some guidance for what could constitute an animal. Clearly, in the event that someone is cited with the abandonment, we will still have to prove that that animal was abandoned, that they were failing to provide that adequate care. And again, so our code does have to kind of conflate with state law, and there are some charges, and particularly when it comes to severe cases of neglect or abuse, that aren't going to be county charges, and some of the issues of failure to provide care may fall into, they may be county charges, they may be felony charges that wouldn't constitute abandonment under our code and would be prosecuted by the county. So.
Well, I personally love to see this change. I love the change from 100 to 500 because we have a serious issue around here with people abandoning their animals. They try to find somebody to take them, and when they can't find somebody to adopt them, then they just go dump them out in the country. And again, I just love the changes. So hopefully this will make a difference.
And again, these are just 5 common scenarios. If there are additional ones you would like us to add, we're happy to add some additional. But again, it's not limited to, it's just spelling out, these are things that we are commonly seen in that area.
I have a question. I love this. I'm so glad that we're doing this. I agree with Commissioner Patterson. This is a huge problem in our community. Can you provide some clarification on the 24-hour period? Like, for example, say my cat gets out and I'm making reasonable attempts to find it and get it back. I assume that's not what we're talking about, just so people understand. Okay.
And that's not what we're talking about. It kind of falls in the leaving the animal at the uninhabited premises or vacating, where you're just leaving your animal with no water, no food, no supervision. That's not what is captured in the ordinance. If your animal gets out and you're looking for it and you're taking active steps, that's not going to constitute abandonment. The one area where that might fall is if animal welfare has impounded it, they've contacted you, and then you fail to pick up the animal, that would constitute abandonment within that time period offered by the code.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for clarifying.
Do we have an ordinance written for neglect?
We do have an animal, I believe we do have an animal neglect ordinance, but again, some of that is probably, I don't think that one's been updated in some time, and some of those behaviors and issues are going to fall under county charges, which we can't prosecute because animal neglect and cruelty is now a felony. So that's an issue that's outside of our purview as a city. We can't prosecute a felony charge.
Okay. Well, the one thing I'd like to say, I spent the first 12, 13 years of my life on a farm, and when animals are dumped in the country, it's not a Disney movie. It's a horrible, brutal end in most instances. So, yeah, I approve of this.
So our plan is to bring this back to you guys at the May 7th meeting, since we won't be having the April 21st meeting.
Okay. Any other questions? Thanks, Mandy. We appreciate you updating this. Thank you. Okay, and our last study session item is 3.7. discuss the city's participation in the remnant defendant settlement agreement in the opioid litigation.
Thank you,
Melissa?
Mayor, Commissioners. Yes, thank you. So this is essentially a companion to a consent agenda item. It's item 7.7.10. So unless you all decide to pull that out of consent, we wanted to give you a little bit of background on that. So as you all are aware, the City of Enid has already participated with other towns and counties in litigation over pharmaceutical opioids within the state of Oklahoma. This settlement specifically was dated February 23rd, 2026. It includes 6 opioid manufacturers. They are the Associated Pharmacies Incorporated, J.M. Smith Corporation, Louisiana Wholesale Drug Company, Morris & Dixon Company, North Carolina Mutual Wholesale Drug Company Incorporated, and United Natural Foods Incorporated. So this would be a combined settlement with those 6 companies. By participating, the city would then release its claims that they have currently against those companies and their affiliates. Those claims would be dismissed. The city would agree to take the money that has been previously agreed to among the settlement. This is a combined settlement. The total amount for the entire settlement is $97,625,000 for always the purposes of abating the opioid crisis and epidemic. So that's a huge amount of money. As you know, that's going to be divided among all of the participating entities. It doesn't include state attorneys general and doesn't allocate any amount to a state. That's the difference here with this one as opposed to some of the others that have the state subdivision agreements. And so it would be direct payments to the city. After you subtract out the 12.5% gross settlement, the attorney fees out of that, and the administrator, taxes, and costs, estimated net amount would be $83,625,000. Divide that much further down to Enid's percentage, which is a little over 0.01%. The gross allocation to the city would be approximately $10,546. Small amount, but if you agree to participate in this settlement, that would come to the city. The deadline for agreeing to participate is May 4th, so that's why it's on this agenda item. This would be before our next meeting, I believe would be May 5th. So if you agree to participate, then the resolution would need to be adopted to give the mayor, city manager, and others the authority to take all actions to participate in that settlement. Any questions?
Do you have any plans for the money? Any ideas of what you might use it for?
We do have some plans. I could let Aaron talk about that. That's a good question because this would be really the same uses for the funds as all of the other settlements. We have had a conversation with local drug court program, and I think that we are looking at the possibility of funding some of their programming.
We've also, Commissioner Dennis and I have talked to a person about doing a study, I believe it was, working with the nonprofits in town to see how best, where the need is and how best to distribute this. So we're also looking at that as a possibility.
Okay.
Questions? Anything else? Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate it. Okay, that finishes up our study session items. I'm going to move on to item number 5.1 under Community Development. Consider removing from the table and taking action on an appeal from Daryl Shaver regarding the code official's determination that 2029 East Illinois Avenue is dilapidated and is subject to demolition pursuant to Enid Municipal Code 9-11-2. And before I even start, this is going to take 2 votes. The first vote would be to take it off the table. So I'll look for a motion to pick this back up.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Cast your ballot. Motion passes 6-0. All right. And now I'm going to ask our Director of Code Enforcement, Scott Garnad. I'm struggling. It's all those proclamations I had to do.
I understand.
Right?
He's busy.
If you'll bring us back up to date and any progress that's been made on this.
So this was brought to you a little while ago when we tabled it. I thought my first slide was, I'm going to just go over this, recap it real quick. If you have any questions, please stop me. So this is the location. This is on East Illinois off of 3rd. This is an overhead view. And then, this is how it currently looks, or excuse me, this is how it looked in 2025 in October or August. I'm having troubles now. Now you're wearing off.
I know, it rubbed off.
On August 15th, this is how it looked. Post the appeal, so since that time that he was extended a longer time, on January 22nd, the council agreed to table the appeal for 60 days, allowing to re-roof, re-deck, and no change has been made to the structure. An application for demolition was received on 3/27 of this year. We are currently waiting on a licensed plumber to apply to be able to cap the sewer line so the demolition can begin. So they have applied for a demolition, but we haven't issued the permit yet because we are waiting for a licensed plumber to be able to cap that sewer line. This is how it looks on March 26th. Paul did drive by today and told me there is no change to it currently. This is just the current state of it. And that's a pretty quick recap, I understand. If you have more questions, please.
So, Scott, who made application to demolish it?
The owner.
The owner did. When they do that, do they have a timeline?
The permit is good for 90 days, 60 days, I apologize.
60 days. Okay. And then at that time, he would retain, does the demolition include removal of all the material off of that property?
That is what the permit is for, correct.
Okay. So they can't just tear it down and leave a pile?
Because then we would do trash and debris. We would just run another case, a different case on it at that point.
And one other question. Then we would not have to assess him at all. He would just own the piece of property, right?
Correct.
It would not be our responsibility moving forward.
Correct.
I would just remind the council, we're here after years, so yes, the council can make whatever decision they need to make, which is to approve the appeal or deny the appeal. And then following that, it's my understanding that the applicant or the person in the audience probably needs to have a chance to speak, has a chance to go to district court.
Correct.
And I think that's 30 days, right?
There's an appeal process for 30 business days, is which rounds out to about 40, 45 days.
Okay. I just want to make sure the council knows that, because really the only decision you have before you is to considering the appeal is to grant it or deny it.
And even if we denied the appeal, he could still self-demo.
Correct. Yes.
All right?
Yeah, and in that process, that time to appeal to district court, he would still have the ability to self-demo.
Okay. And if he self-demos, Scott, what would the cost have been to the city if we did it or do it?
If we do it, something this size, we're looking $4,000 to $5,000.
Okay.
I mean, they're running anywhere from about 4 to 6 is what I'm seeing them.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions of Scott? I want to give Mr. Shaver a chance to speak. Shaver, would you like to
be pulled up too? What's that? The foundation has to be pulled up too, doesn't it? I don't know. It needs to be asked.
Yes, sir. I just didn't know if you'd like to comment or tell us anything before I call it to a vote.
No, I've already, like you said, turned in my paperwork, and it's up to, like you discussed, to vote on it, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
I did read in your paperwork, you were saying that the reason you haven't gone any further on this is that the cost of building materials is just too great and it's just not worth it?
No, there wasn't enough time that I asked for, 6 to 8 months, so
Okay.
I just made a decision on my own, because I've done it before. Like I said, I've done 6, 7 houses since I moved back. That's what I do, inside and out, and I know basically how long it would take.
Okay.
So I decided otherwise.
Okay.
Commissioner Baker, did you have a question?
And this maybe is a question for you, Scott. In terms of if he does the demolishing work himself, that also, I guess, is removal of the foundation as well?
Yes, it includes the removal of the foundation. The problem with leaving a foundation is in order to build back on it, you'd have to have an engineer stamp to allow anything to be built back on there.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Why don't you go ahead and explain what our standard demo specs are to contractors, what the standard is?
So usually what we do is remove everything, everything excluding the approach. So anything on the property within the property line, everything's got to be ground level.
And bladed back, everything leveled off, right? Yeah. Other questions, commissioners?
Just quickly, how long do you think it will take you to demo it down to ground level, sir?
I'm not sure. I got people at my church that been questioning me and asking me about it. They've been watching and hearing about it, and they offered their assistance, framer and different people that had dump trucks, running loader. Small house. Doesn't have a concrete slab. The slab is in the front porch and the back porch only. It's blocked around, sitting on a wood floor, so, you know, I really couldn't tell you, actually.
Okay.
Well, so I think at this point, if we do make the motion to deny, then that gives him the 60 days to go ahead and do. So I'll make that motion to deny.
I just want to be clear, though, too. How many days are we going to give him to self-demo?
I hope enough.
Be very clear about that so that we...
It's 60 days. It's the same amount of time.
60 days. Okay.
Okay.
Is that correct?
I just want to ask, just to clarify for us, so I have clear direction. If I misspoke and it is 90 days, do you want to give him the amount of time that the permit is allowed for?
Oh, sure.
Is that a better way
Yeah,
to
if it's
to make
90
that?
days, give
Is
him
that what
that.
the intent is?
Yeah, give him extra
What
time.
do you want us to do on the 91st day? I guess that's up to me, so, okay, we understand clearly. You want us to wait 90 days if you make your decision, so.
Or if we deny, he's got, still has 60 days to do it.
90 days is what he's trying to, are you?
No, I apologize. Let me
Okay.
real quick. So we have the appeal process, right? The permit process will last longer than that. As soon as we issue the permit, those are good for either 60 or 90s. I'm not clear on that one. It's a different process than our normal one, which is 180 days. It's a shorter time frame. So what I'm asking is the intent to allow him to the removal of the structure within the limit of the demo permit, whether it be 60 or 90. Am I?
So basically what you're saying is the time clock, would it start tomorrow or will it start the time that he gets the permit to be able to demo it?
That is a good question on you all, yes.
I'm going to chime in, sorry. All right, so this is for the declaration and dilapidation. So the clarifications is if you want us to uphold the demo permit, if you decide to uphold the declaration of it being dilapidated. If it is yes, then we can proceed on our process after if you motion to allow us to proceed with the submitted demolition permit.
And I think it's good that this has been brought out because Mr. Schaefer is waiting on a plumber to be able to proceed so that he can start the demo. So it looks like we're going to, if we deny it, we're still yet going to have to wait on the plumber in order for them to submit the permit to start the demolition process.
Well, I'm now thoroughly confused.
Yeah.
So I just like to.
I mean, that's the way it's written.
The deal.
My point is, the house is obviously going to have to come down.
Oh, sure.
And do we want to stretch it out there on a permit process and then bring it back again if it doesn't get done? And we have a history of it not getting done.
Well, we won't bring it back if you deny his appeal. We'll give him the amount of time. Whatever you say that permit time is, we will do that. And, but here's the hard part, folks. I'll just tell you. You have charged us in this department with getting rid of, removing dilapidated structures. It isn't an easy process, as you know, because when it comes to taking someone's property and tearing it down, we have this situation. So really, all you need to do here is figure out if you're going to agree to grant his appeal or deny it. And if you deny it, then whatever Scott Garnand says is the permit period time, whether it's 60 days or 90 days, which he's going to clarify for us, we'll give him that. But if it doesn't get torn down to standards, then we're going to move forward, because it is not productive use of time, I don't think, to keep coming here, bringing folks, putting them through this. One way or the other, I think that if you want us to do this, then this is the tough process that we have. And if you want to give him more time, that's fine with me too. So clear direction for me is you either grant the appeal or deny it. If you deny it, whatever he tells me the days are, we'll wait that long, but we'll be ready to go after that, because we have to be. Otherwise, we'll be waffling around here for a long time. Right, Mr. Shaver?
I understand.
Yep.
Based on Mr. Schaefer's, what he's shared with us, I'll make the motion that we deny the appeal.
And I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion to deny the appeal and a second. Please cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. All right.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Item 5.2, hold a public hearing regarding an ordinance to rezone 3 tracts of land located at 6402 East Chestnut Avenue, parcel ID 0000-12-22 North, 06 West-1-300-00, and parcel ID 0000-12-22 North, 06 West-1-350-00 from A, Agricultural General District to I-3 Industrial Heavy District. And Jacqueline, I think this is you.
I'm just going to keep throwing them at you about the long reads and then the numbers every time I come.
He loves it. Yeah, thank you.
As stated, this is a rezoning request. It's basically near the intersection of North 66th Street and East Chestnut. This is a City of Enid properties requesting the zoning from agriculture to I-3. Here's an aerial of the subject property. Again, it's located at the northwest, the intersection of North 66th and East Chestnut, between Owen K. Garriott and Chestnut Avenue, and then there's a railroad on the next section. The subject properties are currently zoned agriculture with similar zoning to the north, and a portion to the east, south, and part of the property is zoned I-2 and I-3 to the west. City sewer and water are currently being built along 66th Street. Water will be located along East Chestnut and East Owen K. Garriott. The subject property has a floodplain that runs north and south, located on the western portion of the northern parcel and the eastern portion of the southern parcels. And here it's kind of highlighted in the green. This piggybacks with what the Envision Enid comprehensive plan projects the area around the floodplain to be green space or agriculture to promote a green network. Metropolitan Area Planning Commission recommend approval 8-0. Are there any questions for staff?
No. Any questions? This is out there in our industrial park. So,
okay.
All right. This was just a hearing. Is there anybody else in the audience that wants to speak on the hearing on this piece of property to this topic? Okay. With that being said, I'm going to move on to 5.3. This is the companion that we'll take a vote on, and I will read it again. Consider an ordinance to rezone 3 tracts of land located at 6402 East Chestnut Avenue, Parcel ID 0000-12-22 North-06 West-1-300-00 and parcel ID 0000-12-22 North-06 West-1-350-00 from Agricultural General District to I-3 Industrial Heavy District, and to amend the City of Enid, Oklahoma zoning map accordingly, providing for repealer, saving clause, and severability. So, do you have any other questions? This is just where we're going to take a vote on actually rezoning it.
Nope.
Nope.
So move to approve?
I'll look for a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Please cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. Item number 6.1 under administration. Consider approval of an agreement with Vivison. Did I say it right that time? Okay. Wellness Foundation, Inc., Lakeland, Florida, for the transfer of 8 city-owned parcels for the purpose of constructing affordable housing, and authorize the mayor to execute necessary documents. And Gerald, we'll go back to you on this.
Yeah, Kevin, you've done a good presentation here. I think probably it's a new kind of construction for us. And so, one of the things that the commission might need to consider on this transfer is, we've talked about 8 lots. You've talked about 1 lot's not workable for you. However, you have financing. You showed me a pre-approval on your financing out in the hallway for the 8 parcels. So I think the commission should contemplate giving him. I think maybe we should amend it to 7 parcels. And I know that it's there's some risk there. I've just gotten to know Kevin, but I believe you, Kevin. I believe that you can get this done. There is some protection built into the agreement. The agreement talks about holding the transfer for 15 days. And so I think that's contemplated to consider you submitting your building permit applications. And then ideally, we would, if we have any questions, we'll get that worked out with you and issue those permits before we file that deed. And so I think that's the protection that the commission has. Is it perfect? No. Could something happen and Kevin not be able to do this? Yes, it's possible. However, I think with the parcels of property that we're talking that are $500 parcels, and the fact that Kevin has shown up with his whole team here today and talked to people, it's clear to me he doesn't have all the answers yet, but he's working to get them. And he's the only guy that I can recall stand in front of us with a plan, some plan, not a perfect plan, but a plan to do something with these lots. And I will say, we have shopped these lots for a while. Dr. Mack has helped us. And while people have talked about stuff, nobody stepped up to the plate. So I think you have an opportunity tonight, although it's not perfect, to consider this transfer and of the 8 or the 7 parcels. But I think that we may have some more questions for you. The council may have some more questions. And I think that it's your time to stand and deliver. And the city attorney, I think, if there is any amendments considered to this agreement, I think the city attorney can step us through what you can do or not do. So, Mayor, I would turn it back to you. If there's questions for Kevin or his team, now's the time to stand and deliver, Kevin.
I do have a question. I just wanted to clarify what you had shared with us during study session. So this is being billed to us as affordable housing, right? And the rent was anywhere from $1,200 to $1,400 a month. You had mentioned that your foundation helps with kind of offsetting some of that based on income. Is that true? Did I understand that correctly?
That's what we're going to get to, yes.
Okay.
So right now, these houses are going onto a general market because we need to prove the pilot program. Once we're able to pilot that, now that we're registered in Oklahoma, all our documents are done, now we can go out and start raising money that's been promised to us, but we have to bring that pilot program. Okay. Once those funds are actually moved to the foundation, then we can go into low income or affordable housing where we can do it based by income or situation, because the foundation's donations cover the back end of that, and then we can get different kinds of grants, city, state, OFA, different places to subsidize some of those shortfalls.
Okay, so that is the end goal. I just wanted to
The
make
whole
sure that
idea
I
is,
understood.
we don't just need that here, we also need workforce housing because of the base growing and everything happening. So we're going to be building a little bit of everything, and that's why we have 3 different models, a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, a 3-bedroom. And we have a 4 and a 5 coming down the line because everybody deserves a home they can afford. And that's the whole idea. It's just affordable housing.
And that would be my concern. So thank you for clarifying. I just wanted to make sure that was the end
You
goal.
did hear, and I just wanted to mention this because I know you did the domestic violence. Some of our smaller homes are built for that. 2 of my leaders on my board of directors, they've put a program together just for domestic violence and being
Awesome.
able to put domestic violence shelters together with these same type of homes. And we'll probably talk about that later, but I just.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you.
I'm still not sure that in Enid America, $1,250 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment is really affordable. I don't know that that really fits what's available out there right now.
You might be right, but I just personally looked for a home here the last 2 days. $1,600 to $1,800 for a 2-bedroom apartment if I want to come here, because I'm not low income. And I'm on Social Security because of because I had stage 4 colon cancer. So I get a limited income. Luckily, my wife's a nurse, so she makes good money. But the point is, that's what the normal market is right now. A 2-bedroom apartment, $1,800, $1,900.
And I have to say, I've been out of the market. I've lived in my house for 37 years, so maybe
Yeah,
I'm
so it's
just not
scary
aware
out
of
there.
what
So if I can
rent
get a
is.
3-bedroom for $1,250, I'm moving to that 3-bedroom house. And it's not, right now, we're not set up to do that 30% of income where it's going to be $600. We have to get there. That's why we have to prove this model. And then when the foundation is proved that we can build homes for affordable housing and we're taking in that money, now we can pay for those people by working with churches and different people to subsidize that money. Okay, it's not going to just be us. It's going to be other groups, different veterans groups, all trying to put together, finding out ways to get these people into these homes. So maybe it's piggybacking with Dave, who has a budget for putting people in homes, and they have an $800 budget. This group has $400. Now we can put a person in a home, a good home. So it just takes time.
You just answered my next question, because I was going to ask you. The federal government's getting ready to cut back 10% on HUD for housing, and that was my question, and you just answered it.
You have
so
to work-
you're going to work with other organizations and nonprofits to be able to
You have
raise
to.
that money.
There's no way, with the way the government's going right now and the way people are being all their jobs are being taken away by AI. If we don't work, look, maybe it's not a place, I'm a spiritual man. I believe it's time to blow our trumpets together and work together to fix this problem. Right now, 4.2 million Americans across the U.S. right now are homeless, without homes. Number 1 home in the world right now are RVs. That's sad. Okay, 10 years from now, 75 million Americans, Generation Xers, are going to retire. It's called the Silver Tsunami. I wrote a paper for the government on that. And when they do that, they're going to push the people in the lower markets out, because we go from 10,000 square foot homes down to retirement homes. When we do that, all the people below us are going to just be wiped out. 75 million Generation Xers in 10 years are going to hit that market. If we don't step up today and figure out economy ways to build this, I acknowledge some of my partners that you don't know about. My sponsors are Boxable. I can't bring Boxable in this state yet because they're not approved. Okay, I have modular companies who could do stuff even cheaper, but the problem is they're not certified yet. This is a certified way that we know, because we went to the hardest state in the world, Florida, and if it passes there, we believe it can pass anywhere. And they're concrete floors. That's what helps the VA and some of the HUD and all the regulations. You can't put these mobile homes in, but this has a concrete floor, steel walls, steel studs. It passes everything for them. So now you can get those funds. Again, I can't do a lot here, but in a rural area, there is USDA grants. and home guarantees for people. So maybe I don't do perfect here, but maybe we can do perfect somewhere else. Like, I'm going to Fairview tomorrow. Okay, Kremlin. They're in USDA areas that can help people. It's still going to help the economy here, but maybe if that's where the people have to go to get their homes, then at least they can get a good home. That's all I'm trying to do. And I'm willing to fight for it.
I have one more.
Okay.
On the construction part of it, down in Florida, my brother-in-law, he poured concrete in all the cinder blocks. And while we were down there pumping concrete, they would put the tension cables up in the roofs. Will your homes have that in there, the tension cables where they would bolt down on each end of the house to keep the roofs from flying off?
Glad you asked that. That's why we went to the steel frame system. Inside those steel frames are tensioners that go 18 to 22 inches into the ground below that. And they have like this thing that spreads out in them. So this is what makes them hurricane proof to 180 miles per hour.
Okay.
That house is not going to move.
Yeah.
If they've been tested and tested and tested, it's the suspension that we're putting in these things. The metal buildings, if a roof lifts on a normal house, what happens is moisture gets into the house, it starts to cause mold. We're all metal, we're all fiber. There's nothing in this house that can mold or break or rot, no termites. It's all 100% fire resistant. They are made different, and it's made to be safe and fast. We need to build a lot of homes.
So that's
and I'm not the only group doing this. So what I'm doing here, we're part of a group, and maybe I should have mentioned this. You heard me say one person, one family, one community. One community, if you look it up, it's an organization, what I'm doing. We're all part of this, and there's probably about 80 of us in every state building these communities with these same systems that we're putting together and working together. We're building education, medical, and we're working together to try to figure out this housing program. Is it perfect? No. Is it hard? Holy moly. Because every state has a different opinion of what's right for their state. So we have to kind of go with a perfect medium, and that's what we've done. We've come up with a perfect medium for fast, rapid housing that looks good and is productable.
So Kevin, with the insurance part of it, that should lower the insurance by 20%.
Or more, because they're
At
fire
least
resistant, they're
20%.
mold resistant, and since they're all metal, they don't have the roofing issues.
Right.
Yeah, and in Florida, like I said, we can barely get a mobile home now in Florida under any insurance. Like all the insurance companies have pulled out in Florida. These houses had insurance the first day we had them. Because they're homes, they're solid homes with steel roofs. That's what Florida wants.
Any other questions before we go to a vote? Okay. I'm going to call for a motion to approve.
I need to stop you there because I have a question, Mayor. Sorry. I have a question about the lot that has been discussed that may need to be removed from the agreement. And if you need that, then the motion will need to also amend Exhibit A of the agreement to not include that lot. And I'm not sure which lot that is. Does that make sense?
Is that the lot on Garriott, Kevin? That's really not very deep. I believe it is.
Is that it?
What's the address? Is it Garriott address?
Yes, I think so.
Maybe 500 something south. It's on Garriott and across the street.
I have a 575 North 10th,
This one?
1326 East Main.
No, that's Second Avenue, right?
200 East Wabash.
Oh yeah, no, that's it, because that's the green buildings, but that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Which one is it?
526.
Yeah, it has these really cool green
Taylor.
medical offices
The one.
behind it, and it's a little strip.
What's the address?
526 South Taylor.
That's
South Taylor.
That's listed as parcel number 7. So if you want to exclude parcel number 7 and then amend to, I don't think it actually references 8 lots. The agreement just references parcels. So I think you could just exclude parcel number 7 in a motion. And that would be an oral amendment to the motion, to the agreement as presented.
Okay. So I'm going to look for a motion to approve the transference of 7 city-owned lots with the exception of 726 South Taylor, parcel number 7.
526.
526, what'd I say?
7.
526 South Taylor, parcel 7 to Vivison. Do I have that motion?
I have.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second? And a second, okay. I'm gonna call for a vote. All right, cast your ballots. All right, 6-0. Congratulations. You have.
Kevin, are you in town tomorrow? It'd be good if you come in and
Yes.
talk with the
we'll be-
team
we'll
and bring
be
your guy.
Filing the permits on those 2 lots that we talked about.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to say this, I am glad to see this happen. This is really good, and I mean, this is going to help us. Mayor, you've been under a lot of pressure. I have to, the whole council. So thank you for coming. Appreciate your help.
Yeah. All right. Where am I at, Summer? 6.2? 6.2, consider an ordinance amending the Enid Municipal Code 2024 Title 6 Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 5 Driving Rules to add Section 6, 8-12 spinning wheels and excessive acceleration, establishing penalty, providing for repealer, saving clause, severability, codification, and declaring a emergency. Go ahead, and then before we call for a vote, it's going to take 2 votes, just so you know.
So just a quick recap for you tonight. This ordinance was first presented to you at the study session at the last meeting. Essentially, it is to prevent drivers from doing donuts, laying rubber, the excessive squealing and peeling out that happens when you take off too fast. The way that it's, again, the way that it's structured as a tiered escalating penalty. There's a penalty for if there's no damage and it's just the action. There's also a secondary penalty, or the penalty differentiates between violations where there's just the action versus damage, and both of those escalate based on the number of tickets that you've received for this particular action. So are there any questions about the ordinance as presented tonight? And again, we are asking to pass it with an emergency.
You don't think this makes us look like the anti-fun police?
I have been accused of that with this one, the Hot Wheels. And
I like
to
that,
be
the Hot
fair,
Wheels.
I do drive a sports car, so I need to watch out myself for this one.
Does our city attorney, our other one, drive a fast car too, or no? No?
No, we have some fast cars, but we don't drive them.
Okay, okay. All right. Any questions?
So I'd move to approve.
All right, I've got a motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Please cast your ballots. All right, motion passes 6-0.
And move the emergency.
Second.
That's a good point. We have a motion for the emergency and a second. Cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. All right, does that one. Item 6.3. Consider an ordinance amending the Enid Municipal Code 2024 Title 6 Motor Vehicle and Traffic, Chapter 2, Administration and Enforcement to amend Section 6-2-5, Application of Provision, Exceptions, to update when certain provisions apply in public parking lots, providing for repealer, savings clause, severability, state law references, codification, and declaring an emergency. This one will take 2 votes also. Mandy?
So again, this one was presented at the last study session. It's a companion to the ordinance that just passed. Essentially, there are certain traffic offenses that apply in parking lots. This is just updating it to allow for the spinning wheels and to apply in public parking lots as well.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0.
Move for the emergency status.
Second.
Motion and a second. Please cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. Very good. All right, item 6.4. Consider an ordinance amending the Enid Municipal Code 2024 Title II Finance and Taxation, Chapter 6 Fee Schedule, Article 6 City Services and Facilities, Section 2-6C-2 landfill permit fees to allow the city manager to set fees per administrative regulations, Title II Finance and Taxation, Chapter 6 Fee Schedule, Article E, Utility Fees and Charges, Section 2-6-8, Solid Waste Collection Charges to increase minimum monthly charges and fees, set an annual automatic 2% increase, and allow the city manager to set solid waste removal fees per administrative regulations, Title 8, Utilities, Chapter 4, Solid Waste, Section 8-4-8, Collection of Yard Trimming and Refuge, to remove references to yard trimming and amend references to the Solid Waste Department, providing for repealer saving clause, severability, and codification. And Scott, I think this is you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. And I think we'll start with how we got here. We came before you in late 2024, and we did a solid waste increase, and we hadn't completed a study at that point. And so we weren't exactly sure how this impacted our entire operation because we hadn't completed the study. What this study really does is it is not as simple as just looking at the revenue that solid waste creates and subtracting out our operations that you find in the solid waste budget that you approve. There are several considerations for equipment, the large purchases that you've helped us approve lately with things like the chippers, the compactor. Those are high dollar expenses that don't come out of that normal budget. And so one of the things that the study really helps us with is not only does it show us our personnel costs and our operations costs, but it actually allows us to project what those costs will be year after year, plugging in inflation numbers for staff, inflation numbers for vehicles. The inflation number that we see for personnel is going to be different than vehicles. Probably a fire truck goes up more than 2 or 3% every year. Same thing in the solid waste industry. So the model really helps us to get a grasp on what the future costs are going to be for this department. And it also includes things like when we do landfill cell expansions, those usually come out of engineering and capital projects. And so all of these costs for solid waste and landfill really should be captured with the fees that we collect for those. And one of the reasons for that is simply because, like we explained last time, in our general fund account, and then we have our municipal authority account. And the departments that are a part of the authority, they really need to pull their own weight, and they need to pull their own weight plus some. Because in this year's budget, we transferred $14 million out of the authority into the general fund. So some of these fee-driven departments are really subsidizing other departments and other capital projects that we do as a city. And so that's why it's so important to look at all of this together, and that's what the study did for us and helped us to have a model that shows us all of the real costs that are associated with solid waste and landfill. And so you all saw most of these slides last time, so I won't spend a whole lot of time on them, but I want to make sure I answer your questions. The Raftella study gave us a suggestion of just doing a 4.5% increase every year. Every year that's a steep amount, so we decided to come up with a different tactic that was more conservative, we thought, and that would do the minimum we need to pay the bills. And so really what we came up with are these proposed rates. You've got a side-by-side comparison here on this slide showing our current rates and our proposed rates. And really what we've got right here is a chance for you to increase the rates for polycarts. We're suggesting a change from $16 a month to $18 a month. That's 50 cents a week for most people that have one polycart. And for the additional carts to change those up to half the cost of what it is for a regular cart, $9 a month. The commercial rates are already set by the city manager, and so we've suggested to try to make that similar and carry that on for some of the other market-based things like the landfill rates, to allow the city manager to set those. If we need to have a special contract with someone coming in, that can be arranged by the city manager instead of have to come to this body. Same thing with the bulky items. We want to keep that manageable and low and affordable for our people, but we would like to also have that be set by the city manager. So those are the suggested changes that you'll find on the ordinance that's before you, is to change these polycart rates and to allow the city manager to have some discretion on some of these commercial and market rate type fees, just like he already has on dumpsters. This is just a reminder. What we're asking for, I believe, is very conservative. Most of the other cities our size are already charging this amount. These are their last year's numbers, so this is not taking into consideration any automatic increases that they might already have for this year. So you can see right on in the highlighted portion, what we're aiming for is just right even with what our competitive cities are already charging. We are not trying to be like Broken Arrow or Tulsa or Muskogee. We're trying to do what's right for Enid and our community. So this is the revenue generation off of these. This looks high and fancy, but really through 2031, it pays the bills. And past 2031, we start to really go into deficits where every year we'll be in a situation where we may need to come back to you in about 5 years and revisit this. This will also give us a chance to test our model and to make sure all of the assumptions in our model are correct. Maybe there's some tune-ups we need to make in the model. But what we have before you is we think the minimum that it takes to pay the bills for the next 5 years. And that's just the change from 16 to 18, the change for the additional cart, and the 2% automatic increases. Hopefully that answers your questions, but I'll take your questions if you have them.
Okay. Scott, when you made reference to Broken Arrow, I guess they have a much more aggressive policy?
Well, I'll tell you, there are other cities that are not fortunate enough to own their own landfill. And so they're at the mercy of paying the tipping fees for whoever owns that landfill.
Oh, I did, okay.
And there are some cities who have also privatized their solid waste services. And whoever they are paying for it certainly is going to make a profit or they wouldn't be doing it. So
good point.
Because we own our own landfill, I believe we're in a position to be very competitive with anyone else because we own our own landfill. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I think it's important to point out that any citizen that has a water bill can make 12 free trips to the landfill per year, and that's just for regular refuse, and then 6 trips per year with household hazardous waste. My question is, what can we do for senior citizens or low-income families that don't have a truck or a way to use those 12 free times? And I think what I just read in something you showed was if the city of Enid came to pick up refuse from somebody's house, it would be $20?
So I'll tell you right now what our policy is, and this is a great thing. Our bulk waste pickup, you see those big trucks, they have actually a 20-yard container on the back of them, the ones with the grapple that comes out. Did you know that for the low price of only $20, you can call in and solid waste will come out and pick up what's on your curb up to a full truck, 20 yards, for $20.
Okay.
We are losing money on that as a city. I am telling you, it is a fantastic deal for our citizens. And like you said, throw in on top of that 12 free trips to the landfill. No one else does that. We are being very generous with our free trips to the landfill. The bulk rate is very affordable. You cannot pay someone $20 to come pick up your material, take it to the landfill. You know,
Agreed.
It is a fantastic deal. So I think we're already doing a lot. Pretty much any day is extra trash pickup day because for only $20, you don't have to wait for once a year. You call us, we'll come get it.
Okay.
Great deal.
Good deal.
That is good.
Yeah.
Other questions? Well, y'all know how I feel about this. I think part of our fiduciary responsibility is making sure that we don't go in debt, right? I mean, that we're not upside down on what it costs us to operate. Nobody wants to pay more than they have to, but at the same time, you get behind on that stuff and we have a truck that goes down, we'll go to the bank and have to borrow it. You have to keep this going. And if I remember in the first presentation, I think we were told that short of the polycarts, we had not had a rate increase since 2017.
14.
Oh, 14.
Oh, good Lord.
Okay, well, my point is, everything else has gone up. I think this should have been done long time ago. But that's how I see it. You know, we just have to stay caught up on rates. There's no other way around it. You saw all the numbers that she had. I mean, it doesn't just happen by magic. So, with that being said, I'll look for a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Second it.
Motion and second. Cast your ballots. All right, motion passes 6-0. Item number 7, consent. We'll do all these together unless anybody wants to pull one.
Approve all consent items.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0.
Mayor, can I just interrupt for just 1 second and say we've been working really hard to get this plat finished that you just approved and get the vacation status through with it. It's been a lengthy process, and I thought it was worth mentioning that this plat that we've been working on for so long, it's approved now. So thank you very much for approving it.
Okay. All right. Item 7.10, approve a resolution.
That was under consent.
Oh, I know. Okay.
She's working on Employee of the Year.
I know. Give me that coin back.
The month, she wants the
Okay, number 8, recess to convene as the Enum Municipal Authority. All trustees of the Enum Municipal Authority are present for the regular meeting with the exception of Commissioner Stallings. Item 10.1, consider a resolution increasing the 2025-2026 fiscal financial plan for the Enum Municipal Authority in the amount of $76,400. Aaron?
Yes, this is a companion to 2 items that were in consent, but this just adds money from the additional sales tax we've collected this year to be able to design Grand from Maple to Elm, is that right?
Maine to Maple.
Maine to Maple, yes, there you go, on Grand. So we're extending a contract we already have. We have sales tax funds and the 1% here that we could send over to make that happen.
Any questions, Varen, on that? All right, I'll look for a motion to approve.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. Cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. Item 10.2, consider approval of the purchase of a 2026 MD6 Mack dump truck from Bruckner's Truck and Equipment in Oklahoma. Huh?
No, I'm just looking.
Did I say, oh, I thought I said it wrong. In the amount of $113,700, utilizing Oklahoma State Purchasing Contract number SW0035M, and authorize the chairman to execute necessary documents.
All right, what we've got before us, this is a truck that we hadn't considered buying, but we have an item that's in the current year budget that we decided not to forego on, and then we've actually saved enough money within the department budget to make up the rest of the difference for this truck. And we'd like to purchase this truck. Michael Humphreys here runs our utility maintenance department, and I've kind of figured out through the years the best way to get things done is to give the right tools to the right guys, and so he's here to answer any questions you might have about this truck.
I'll make a motion to approve. Michael?
Second it.
Got a second. All right, look for, cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. Thanks, Michael. Item 10.3, consider approval of a lease agreement with Arvis Equipment Finance, Sioux City, Iowa, to lease 2 2027 2027 and one 2026 520 Peterbilt chassis, Hell 28-yard Python Durapack ejection style automated side load refuge trucks for the solid waste department, and authorize the chairman and the city staff to execute necessary documents.
Yes, we've approved purchasing these 3 trucks, and now we came back with a lease. Solicited bids, we got 4 bids from 4 banks. We're recommending the 36-month option at 3.91% with Arvest.
And we've looked at the difference in leasing versus purchasing, and it works much better for us to lease on some of this stuff, right?
Absolutely. Right now, at the 3.91, we're earning more than that in our investment portfolio. So to pull it out, we would end up spending more money.
Yeah.
I do have a question on that. When we're leasing equipment like that, is it warranted, protected by the people that are leasing it to us?
We usually buy lease or warranties with new equipment that we have, the heavy equipment. Yes.
Because we're liable for the use of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Questions? All right, I'll look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second it.
Motion and a second. Cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. Item number 10.4, approval of claims in the amount of $437,622.54.
Approve.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. Cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. Item number 11, adjourn to convene as the Enid Public Transportation Authority. All trustees of the Enid Public Transportation Authority are present for the regular meeting with the exception of trustee Stallings. Item number 13.1, approval of claims in the amount of $107,960.29.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. Item number 14, adjourn to reconvene as the Enid City Commission. Item number 15, public comment. I have one person signed up to speak, Mr. Justin Rhodes. Mr. Rhodes, if you'll come to the microphone, state your name and your address. Scott, we have 1 minute, please, on the timer.
Justin Rhodes, 212 West Main. This is kind of addendum from last August. Hopefully we've established praying in your prayer closet, reading your Bible, and meditating and listening to God and obeying Him, and not take our marching orders from the people who are running the earth that's being found out what they're doing. And that has to do with repentance. As we repent for, just even having a bad attitude, the Lord's the only one that has the ability to change it. It's not like a New Year's resolution. It's where the Lord transforms you. And only in this life can we do that. It's not just something at the new birth. It's something that continues on until we're finally conformed to the image of Christ. It's an ongoing process. And as we do, more and more Jesus will shine through, and we'll make better decisions and more heavenly decisions in the future. That's for all of us.
Thank you. Item number 16, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.
Thinking of good California.
All right. Good meeting, guys.